Yo, what's going on, guys? Cordy here, and welcome back to another Paragon video. Today's video, we're gonna be doing the caster build. So we just recently did the Ranger build. If you guys missed that, definitely go watch that video. I'll have the link in the description below. For this video, we're gonna be going over the casters. The casters are gonna be played in the mid lane. For the karma spells that you'll be using for the casters, there's a couple of them that you'll be running. The main one that you're gonna be running is gonna be teleport. Teleport's always gonna be the one that is for the backline. That way they can, escape when they're in a bad situation, or again, if you're in a spot to get a kill, you could be a little bit aggressive if you can, be smart about your aggression. The second karma spell that is going to be used, there's two options. So the first safe option is going to be the cleanse. The cleanse one, it's just, the purge. If there's a lot of CC on the enemy team, your goal is just to be safe. So if there's any CC, you'll have that purge to cleanse yourself. That way you can try to stay alive in the team fight and not die so often. As a caster, you'll be the focus in the backline. The other option that I've really been liking in playing is going to be the scout. With the scout karma, this allows you to be a little bit more safer in lane. That way you can have wards constantly in the lane, and then whenever it comes to late game, you can put more wards as well. That way to help benefit your team. But the other benefit for the karma is the passive gold that you get. So while you're just laning, you're getting your normal assets. You'll be getting passive gold with the card system, with the karma spell, and then whenever you back and go to lane, you'll be getting that passive gold as well. You'll be getting more gold when you're out of combat. So whenever you back and you're in base waiting for that item, or if you're making your way to a lane to get more farm, that spell card will be, ticking. So the other one you can go is recovery, but I would recommend not going into recovery. It's either going to be blink and scout or blink and purge. Those will be the main ones for the casters in the mid lane. All right, so as far as the caster builds go, the caster builds gonna be pretty simple. There's not a whole lot of things that are gonna be kind of complicated here. For standard casters, your Gadget, Bellica, Gideon, Howitzer, those type of casters, this is gonna be the build that is pretty straightforward for them. So first, starting off, you want to get there's an item in here that people aren't caught on to yet. I actually wasn't really aware of this being a thing until I started watching like some of the competitive games. But a strat that you can do is at level 1, you get 2 potions, 2 regular health potions, and you get a Brightstone. Brightstone's going to give you some health, some mana, so you have a little bit of survivability and sustain in lane. Also, in the passive, you're going to recover 2 health, 2% of max health, and 2% of max mana per second for 5 seconds every time the hero levels up. So in the early stages, you're kind of getting those farm. You're in lane, you're leveling. This is going to help you just kind of sustain in lane a little bit longer. So this is a strat that you can run. 2 health potions, Brightstone, that's going to give you 500, and then you go to lane, and then you'll back whenever you start to work on your next items. If you don't want to go that route, the other route that you can take is going to be health potion, the rechargeable health potion, and then tier 1 of the world tree, which is going to build into Joy Harvest. So these 3 items, is going to give you with 25 leftover gold, because 275 for the branch of world tree. So you're going to come with 25 gold left, and then whenever you back, you'll start working on your Joy Harvest. But those are the 2 build options at level 1, either 2 potions and a Brightstone. I like it. I've been messing around with it, and the sustain in lane is not bad. You do back pretty early for this anyway, so that kind of works out whenever you want to stay in lane to get this fully completed, unless you get poked out pretty hard. But the other route you can take as well. So that's for level 1. On your first back, we're going to go into Joy Harvest. This item still for me is a little bit iffy. So they nerfed and buffed the item. They got rid of the cooldown, but overall, they reduced the price of the item. They reduced how many Tions you need to kill by 10, and they increased the power overall by 5. So it was a buff, also a nerf though, because they removed the 10 CDR. This item you're going to get at 1200 is because you can build into it right away if you do go the World of Tree. Also with the Scout Karma, you're going to get like passive gold, and you can back a little bit earlier to finish this off, just a little bit, so you can start building this a little bit sooner than you would normally you wouldn't if you didn't go the World Tree, or if you didn't go the Scout Karma spell. But Joy Harvest is going to be your first one, so you're going to get that built. Next, for me, it's going to be the Bells of Purification. You get 60 power, which is not the best for power item. This is one of the cheaper items for sure, but not the best. 60 power. 10 flat pin is really good early game. Early game flat pin is just better than percent pin. So 10 flat pin early is not bad. 10 CDR is always going to be good. You try to get 30-40 CDR whenever you play the caster is ideal. But the passive is what makes this item pretty good. So on the passive, every time you do a basic attack, or if you do a skill attack, you get 1 stack of this passive. So you're going to gain 10 power off of 1 basic attack, 10 power off of 1 skill attack. And then you're also going to decrease the enemy's magical defense by 5%, which again, 5% early game is not that important. Late game, it's a little bit more important. But 10 power is really good. So at 1 basic attack when you're laning, you get 70 power on this item. If you use an ability, let's say you're playing Gideon, and you right click on somebody, you get another stack of ability. So if you auto right click, you get 2 stacks. So that makes this item have 80 power, 10 pin, and 10 CDR whenever your rock whenever your combo comes after the rock. So once you hit someone with the meteor, that's another stack. If you auto again, that's another stack. So if you play around with using ability, auto in between, you can start getting these stacks pretty early. The other thing too is once you get those combos like Gideon, we'll use Gideon example again. Say you go in, you right click. If you auto right click, drop a meteor, that's 3 stacks already. You teleport above their head, then you use your ult. Then you're gonna start stacking this item even more, and you'll get the max stacks will be 110 power, 10 flat pin, and 10 CDR for only 2,600 gold. So you got to make sure to use those autos in between to get this stack pretty easily. This item is really great in a team fight. Whenever you're using those AoE mages, if you're hitting multiple targets with it, it stacks quicker. If you're getting multiple autos, as the fight prolongs, you keep getting those spells off, you keep autoing, you're going to get this fully stacked up. So in that fight, you'll be doing 110 power with the 10 pin. So this item is really good, only for 2,600 gold. It is one of the cheaper mage items, aside from Sage's Whip and of course the Joy of Harvest, but it is a really cheap item. And if you just auto and use abilities, you can get it stacked up to have a lot of power. So next we're going to go into, at this stage of the game, you should be fine to go into another power item if you need to, if you feel like you're falling behind, if the enemy team is really fed, and you need to get pin online, then we'll go into Alchema Blaster. But ideally, you're going to just go into your next power item. For me, the power item is going to be Gloves of Jealousy. It's 80 power, 10 CDR. Again, CDR is good. 80 power is really solid for the amount of gold. The passive on this one, whenever you deal damage with a basic attack, you're going to be getting you'll deal bonus magical damage to 75% of your overall magical power. Early game, it's not that amazing of damage, but when it comes to like mid-late game, when you start getting a couple of power items online, once you get like 3 or 4 power items online, then you'll start hitting this ability, will start hitting like a secondary ability in your kit. This item really gives you like a third ability on a 2.5 second cooldown when it comes to mid-late game. So this item is really, really good. After we get our Gloves of Jealousy, we're gonna go into Alchema Blaster. This is gonna start, you're gonna start building into your pin shred. At this stage of the game, defense should be being bought by the front line. They're gonna respect your magical damage. You're gonna be buying a defense item. You want to be ahead of the curve. You want to get your power and your defense online. So Alchema Blaster, 60 power, 50% nullification defense is really, really good. This combined with flat pin, combined with Bells of Purification with the pin shred, you will be hitting really hard with these items online. By that time, you should have this already stacked. So these 4 items, you'll be hitting super hard. You'll be getting a lot of magical defense. And on the passive on this, whenever the enemy hero max health is more than the hero's health, you get 12 bonus magical damage. The bonus damage reaches the max amount whenever the difference is 1,100. When it comes to late game, mid to late game, when they start having defense online, they'll be having defense and health. So this item is really good in 4th slot. If you're really behind, get it 3rd, but 4th should be fine. After that, then we're going to start building into our big power item, which is going to be Rampaging Toto. This is the more expensive mage item in the game. It's going to be 120 power, and then overall it's going to increase your magical power by 30%. Getting this early is not that great. It's really expensive. I see people do this and it's not a good idea. It's really expensive. Your magical power isn't going to be that effective. Your passive isn't going to be that effective because the only power that you're going to have is 120 power because you put so much money into this item. So ideally it's not good to rush it. It's more better to have more power items first. That way you can get a better passive whenever you buy this item. You'll just get a big burst of magical damage. So these are gonna be your 5 items. From here, there's 2 items in my mind that you can go to. You should be really good on damage. Good on damage, you'll have CDR, so you don't really need to buy any other magic damage item with CDR. But if you do, you want more power, Mathematician's Intro to Architectures is really good. It's 100 power. You're gonna get some life steal, so a little bit of survivability. And then 10 CDR, and then the passive on your third ability after a couple stacks. Your third stack will deal more damage pretty much. This is an item to go into. A couple other items that are useful late game. Instead of going into mathematicians, I sometimes find myself going to player's ID. You're gonna get a shield that absorbs damage equal to 30% of your max mana when your health is below 30%. So this kind of just gives you a shield whenever you drop below a threshold. So it's kind of aiding this in a more survivable caster. So if you see yourself, you know, dying a lot in the team fights, if you're being focused because you're doing too much damage, this could be the item to go into. With your other items, you're already good on damage and you have your pen. You don't need more damage. So player's ID is a really good, just safe way to stay alive. That way you could do more damage by being alive. Another item that is very useful that I put in here is going to be Blue Heart. This item is going to give you 80 power, 35 defense, 10 CDR, and it's going to grant a shield that blocks a single attack from an enemy hero. And then another useful item is going to be Sage's Whip. This is going to be 90 power, 200 health. The main thing here is it's going to give you a lot of anti-healing. They buffed Sage's Whip, and people aren't really respecting Sage's Whip at the moment. It's 90 power for only 2,500 gold. It is the cheapest, biggest power item, even bigger than Joy of Harvest. Joy of Harvest gives you 80. It's at 1,200 gold though. But Sage's Whip gives you 90 power. People are sleeping on this item. It's really, really good. So you can get that anywhere in your build if you need anti-heal. Definitely get Sage's Whip. Now, when it comes to late game, like late game, Joy of Harvest is going to fall off. So Joy of Harvest at max is going to give you 80 power and 10 magical pin. The mana is extra bonus fluff, not really that important. The 10 magical pin falls off super hard late game because everyone's going to be having a lot of a lot of defense. So 10 pin is not going to be 10. If the enemy tank has 200 magical pin, 10 pin, you're not doing anything. It's really non-existent. So for me, what I'll do is late game, I'll sell Joy of Harvest for any one of these items. So this will be my core 5 build. And I'll just sell for any one of these items. If I don't have mathematicians already, then I'll buy mathematicians. But if I already have it in the build, then I'll sell Joy of Harvest for any one of these. If I need anti-heal, just 90 power is not bad. Mainly it's gonna be player's ID and Blue Heart. Sage's Whip is a little bit early on in the build for anti-heal, but I'll sell it for player's ID or Blue Heart. For Blue Heart, it's the same power, 80 power, 80 power. You're gonna get 10 CDR, you're gonna get defense, and you're gonna actually get a good passive. So usually it's one of these two items I'll sell Joy of Harvest for late game. The one key thing that I will say about this build is you have to make sure to get your last hits. If you are struggling to get this item stacked up, you're gonna be really bad on power transitioning to team fights. So you want to make sure that you're really good at getting those last hits and you're farming it effectively. If that's something that you can't do correctly, definitely work on it because you have to get gold. You have to last hit to get gold. But if you see yourself struggling in that aspect as of right now, then forget Joy of Harvest. Go into another item. Get either like start building into your Bells of Purification, get a Witch's Shoe, get into the Gloves of Jealousy. That'll give you 30 CDR with a lot of power if last hitting is really hard for you. But definitely make sure to prioritize last hitting and get this item stacked as quickly as you can. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for the casters. Next up, I think we're going to do supports. Supports are fairly simple. Supports never really get late game in full build, but we're going to do supports next. If you guys like this kind of content, make sure to leave it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I do a lot of these tutorials and guides. Again, like I said in my last video, I want to make sure that I'm educating, that we're educating the community. That way the Paragon community can grow. I did a Ranger build as well. So if you're watching this video and you haven't seen my Ranger guide, check out the Ranger guide. It'll be in the description below. All right, guys, everyone take care, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.